Hey guys, what is going on? Back up here for another video here at youtube.com/DanielGuys412, and we are less than 7 days away until the 2019 Royal Rumble. With the Royal Rumble coming up, I want to give you my top 5 predictions for both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 winners who I could potentially see walking out of Phoenix, Arizona as the winners of both the male and female Royal Rumble matches, respectively. And of course, as always, be sure to leave your comments down below. I always enjoy getting that feedback. Who are your top 5 picks for both matches, respectively? So without further ado, let's waste no time and let's get right into it. We will start with 30-woman Royal Rumble match. These are my top 5 picks. Number 5 here, Ruby Riot. Don't really see her as a possibility of winning. Like I said, it's really tough when it comes to the women's Royal Rumble match. Personally, I only feel there are 2 possible winners of this match. So when it came to picking out, the last 3 on this top 5 list, it was kind of just pick a name here and there. Like I said, I don't think Ruby Riot would win. I'm a fan of Ruby Riot, not so much the Riot Squad. I wish they would break her off and let her do, have a singles run on her own. But be that as it may, hopefully she has a nice showing at the Rumble, but highly doubt that she wins the Women's Royal Rumble match. Number 4 here on my list, Shayne Baszler. Like I said, this is just wishful thinking here. The only way I could see this happening is if Shayna would lose at NXT TakeOver Phoenix to Bianca Belair. But I don't see that happening. So maybe we'll see Shayna in the Rumble, but I highly doubt, like I said, that we would see her win the Royal Rumble match. So the 4 and 5, like I said, these were just picks that are really tough to make a choice. Like I said, there's really only 2 names, and I have a feeling you know who I'm talking about, who could walk out as the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match. So let's get into pick number 3. Could be a possibility if they really wanted to go in this direction. You never know. Never say never. I'm, of course, talking about my number 3 pick, Bayley. Bayley has been just booked so badly since coming up to the main roster. It is astounding how they have watched Bayley on the main roster. While Sasha's, facing Ronda Rousey, Becky's facing Asuka, and you can all assume that Charlotte will be in the Women's Royal Rumble match. So Bayley really is the odd woman out of the 4 horsewomen. If they wanted to go in this direction, they could. You could have Sasha beat Ronda Rousey. I don't see it happening, but you could. And then set up Bayley versus Sasha for the Raw Women's Championship. And then, go from there. Another question is, what do you do with Ronda? I mean, if she's not Raw Women's Champion. In theory, she could enter the Royal Rumble, win the match, and then face the winner of the SmackDown Women's Championship match. You could get Asuka versus Ronda, or the match that we all want to see, Becky wins. Becky versus. I think that's a stretch to put that scenario out there. I did want to include it. Like I said, you could go in this direction if they wanted to. Do I see that happening? No, I do not. Now, pick number 2. Talking about Charlotte Flair. It is highly likely that we could see Charlotte walk out the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match. There were rumors, going back to April, saying the main event for WrestleMania was going to be Charlotte versus Ronda. Now, keep in mind, we already saw that match at Survivor Series. It was a hell of a match. There was unfinished business coming out of that match with Charlotte beating down Ronda Rousey. And, since then, with Ronda and Becky going at it on Twitter, Charlotte throwing herself into the mix there. If they wanted to, they could do Charlotte versus Ronda. But there's just one match that I know that you all want to see and I want to see. Main event WrestleMania. And my number 1 pick, even though she's facing Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship, doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? Because Becky Lynch is the man. And even if she loses, she don't give a shit. She will go into that Women's Royal Rumble match, throw 29 other women over the top rope, to eliminate every single person if she has to, and win the Rumble and face Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship in the main event of WrestleMania 35. For the first time ever, to me, and in the eyes of many of you out there, that should be the main event for WrestleMania. You want to have the women make history? This is the feud. this is the match. It should be the right match, and I feel the right matchup is a singles match between Ronda and Becky. You can make it a triple threat. Becky and Charlotte eliminate themselves at the same time. I really wouldn't want to see that. I just want to see Becky versus Ronda one-on-one. So that is why the man, Becky Lynch, Becky Balboa, is my number one pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. Shifting gears here now. Let's talk about the 30-man Royal Rumble match. It's anybody's ball game. We already have a number of participants in this match, and while I'm at it, I will run down the list of participants real quickly here in the Women's Royal Rumble match. We have, so far, 16 of the 30 entrants announced. Carmella, Ember Moon, Natalya, Bayley, Ruby Riot, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, Zelina Vega, Naomi, Mickie James, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, and Charlotte, who was just announced today on WWE's Twitter page. Moving over to the men's Royal Rumble match, we have 18 of the 30 announced participants for this match. We have R-Truth, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Seth freaking Rollins, Jeff Hardy, Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, John Cena, Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Apollo Crews, Andrade Cien Almas, because I'm not cutting off the last half of his name like WWE did. It ain't happening on this channel. Mustafa Ali, Rey Mysterio. That's a stacked field right there. That really, really is. And I'm really looking forward to both Rumble matches this year. In terms of who wins, who walks out to face either, whether it's one of these four guys, whether it's Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, two of those four are going to be your two, champions heading into WrestleMania. So these are my top 5 picks. We'll start with number 5, Samoa Joe. I would love to see Joe win. I would love to see him gain some momentum back, and I would love to see Joe versus Brock Lesnar one more time. I'd really like their match at Great Balls of Fire. Still can't believe they had a pay-per-view named after that. I would love to see Joe Lesnar go at it one more time. I thought they had a solid 8-minute match. You give them 8 more minutes, I think Joe could get a really good match out of Brock. Don't see it happening, though. I just, Joe, he had his opportunities at the WWE Championship. He didn't capitalize on them. He didn't beat AJ Styles. So I just don't see him, climbing back up the ranks to face Brock Lesnar, of all people, for the Universal Championship. And you're not going to do Joe versus Daniel Bryan. You could, but I don't see that happening. Number 4. This changed for me, seeing as how the Universal Championship match changed at the Royal Rumble. We are now getting Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar. Cannot wait for that. It will be too sweet. So, number 4, I'm picking Braun Strowman, the monster among men. He already hinted at possibly entering the Royal Rumble, so he has to have a role in this show. Seeing as how he was taken out of the Universal Championship match, which I think is a positive in the long run, because Strowman wasn't winning that match. And I felt like his momentum was really starting to wane, especially on me, after that god-awful promo segment he was in 2 weeks ago on Raw, with the split screen between him, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. That was just garbage. I mean, he fumbled his lines. It was just mistiming. The segment didn't click for me. There was no physicality, so it was a complete waste. Strowman has won a Royal Rumble match before. He won the greatest Royal Rumble. Could he do it again? Never say never. I mean, maybe they want to save Strowman Lesnar again. I don't know. I mean, Lesnar already beat Strowman twice, so be that as it may, there's always a possibility that Braun Strowman could win the Royal Rumble match. However, there are 3 more competitors that I feel are more likely to walk out the winner of this match. Number 3. You can't see me. John Cena. Let me tell you why. John Cena's back. He's a free agent. He can go to Raw, SmackDown. He can make movies. He can grow out his hair, even though it looks god-awful, and I still think it's a wig. There's a match that I would like to see John Cena have, and it's a SummerSlam 2013 rematch. And I am, of course, talking about John Cena versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. And if Cena would win that, wouldn't that be his 17th championship, breaking Ric Flair's 16 championship record? Cena already tied the record. He could have potential to do history. And we're bigger, on a bigger stage, a grander stage, for Cena to do that than at WrestleMania 35. We know Cena and Bryan have excellent chemistry. They had a classic at SummerSlam 2013, one of my favorites. Great main event. There's history there, you know. And what more can you say with Bryan being a heel? He needs a strong babyface opponent to go up against. And what's stronger, be that as a polarizing babyface, for him to go up against than Daniel Bryan? I could really see them doing Cena versus Bryan at WrestleMania. If you want to have Cena win the Royal Rumble, that's fine. But I don't think he needs to win the Royal Rumble. I really don't. Because in my scenario here, I think a Raw superstar will win the Royal Rumble. That would set up Cena winning the Elimination Chamber in 1 month's time, and then facing Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 35. Now, my number 2 pick here on my list, I'm going to change things up here. I'm going with Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, to win the Royal Rumble. They could do Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. You know it. They could do that at WrestleMania 35. I think it would be a hell of a match. I love the way that they've been building Drew up as just this badass, no holds barred. He beat the shit out of Dolph Ziggler in that steel cage match and left him lying in a puddle. Well, if we could have blood, there would have been blood. He beat the shit out of Dolph Ziggler. He's been on a tear. Nobody's been able to stop him. Can you imagine Drew McIntyre going up against the Beast incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar, at WrestleMania 35? I would love to see that match. But, and there's always a but, there's just one man that I think is above Drew McIntyre in the pecking order. One guy. He has redesigned, he has rebuilt himself, and he has come to reclaim what is rightfully his Universal Championship. And I am, of course, talking about Seth freaking Rollins. This match is made for Seth Rollins. It's easy storytelling. You have him enter in at number 1. You have him go the distance. That's what we love about Seth Rollins. He is willing to put it all on the line. Whether it was the gauntlet match on Raw, in which he lasted almost, an hour and a half, he went the distance in that match. Star-making performance in that match. His battles for the Intercontinental Championship over the summer. And, his feud with Dean Ambrose kind of fizzled out there. It was what it was. But to get Seth back on track, and I really feel like they're protecting Seth, building him up. He got wins over Bobby Lashley. They had a stellar triple threat, Lashley, Ambrose, Rollins on Raw this past week. Bobby Lashley won the IC title. He's off in his direction for WrestleMania. Like I said, Rollins, all things point to me to see Seth Rollins win the Royal Rumble, preferably at number 1 or number 2. Go that distance. Man, that would make it incredible. Because remember, we have only had 3 other superstars in history enter in at the number 1 spot and win the Royal Rumble match. Of course, I'm talking about Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, and yes, I said his name, and Rey Mysterio. I think Seth Rollins would be a great addition to that list. And can you imagine Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar, a babyface Seth Rollins going up against the Beast for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 35? I can, because I'm going to be there in person, Section 126. So you can bet your ass I want to see that match. We saw it at Battleground 2015. Now remember, Lesnar has never beaten Seth Rollins. That match went to a no contest. And we all know why, because The Undertaker returned on that show and he kicked Brock in the happy sack. So, yeah, Rollins could say, well, I've been in the ring with Brock Lesnar before. I've survived the Beast incarnate, and I won. It wasn't it was a disqualification. And remember, Rollins cashed in the main event of WrestleMania 31. Reigns Lesnar turned that into a triple threat. He survived Brock Lesnar there again. So he's been in the ring with Brock. This is a new, reinvigorated Seth Rollins. Imagine him winning the Royal Rumble, slaying the Beast at WrestleMania, and boom. That would be an incredible ending. It really would. So, guys, those are my top 5 picks for the women's and men's Royal Rumble match, respectively. Be sure to leave your comments down below for your top 5 picks who you see winning those matches, and I'll be sure to comment on those as well. Of course, with the Royal Rumble coming up, Stay tuned for the latest, greatest content coming here to youtube.com/DanielGuys412. I'm doing my Royal Rumble and NXT TakeOver Phoenix preview and predictions videos sometime this week. Also, we'll be back up here for live reactions to the 30-man Royal Rumble match, the 30-women Royal Rumble match, and of course, Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. And of course, my live review for the Royal Rumble immediately following that pay-per-view. And also, be sure to check out, all the other latest, greatest content coming soon here. Like I said, subscribe here at youtube.com/DanielGuys412. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DanielGuys412. Be sure to check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/DanielGuys1994. The links will be found down below in the description box. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll be back up here in my next video, whenever that may be. So until then, take care. Thanks for watching, and let's get ready to rumble.